Yep. So, E-mount lens, full frame format, aperture range 5.6 to f36, 5 ED elements, 1 spherical element, nano AR coating and fluorine coating, direct drive supersonic wave AF motor, optical steady shot image stabilization, dust and moisture resistant construction, removable rotating tripod collar, and rounded 11 blade diaphragm. Oh yeah, what lens is this? I wish I have it in my hands. Ooh! That was huge. Hey, what is good everyone, Chris here, welcome back to the channel, and today we're talking about the 200 to 600mm f5.6 to 6.3. This lens is the one that I made a little bit of a preview a couple of weeks ago, and I told you about it. And if you are interested in videos like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you did already, please go ahead and check other videos, because we have many in this beautiful photography playlist. And I'm hoping that you guys will enjoy this channel more and more. Now, today we're talking about the 200 to 600 after 2 weeks almost. And I told you that I am gonna have a, let's say, impression review, a user review about this lens. I'm not talking about technicalities, I already mentioned them at the beginning of the video. So we're talking about the feel and how this lens performs, basically. And when I started the video last time, I told you about the project that I have. It was a project that I was trying to get involved with, but apparently the company that was working with the project didn't go through with it and postponed it a little bit. So probably during the fall or something like that, maybe we're gonna be able to film it, because this one wasn't, you know, I wasn't able to film the things that were happening. But it was a wildlife project, and I'm hoping to have it because I want to shoot wildlife and landscapes more and more. And this one is the lens that I was trying to use. It's not a G Master, it's a G lens, so pretty much a semi-professional in Sony's lineup. And it's also a lens very well built, and in terms of design, it's built out of metal, very solid. Actually has a heft to it. I wasn't joking when I studied the video. It's kind of heavy, a lens that you need a little bit of a workout to hold all day. And I love that, because a lens at this caliber should be like this. And Sony built this lens pretty well. It does have those AF lock buttons, 3 of them on the lens. It also has a beautiful zoom ring, very big, very easy to move. It's very smooth. This is a REM lens, so these things might be a little bit different for a new lens. But nonetheless, I think the lens is in great condition, so it can apply to a new one as well. The lens doesn't extend at all when you are moving from 200 to 600, which is a great thing. It's already big, and you know, the extension for another 2-3 inches would have been even more cumbersome. Also, it does have an autofocus ring that we're going to talk about a little bit later, and it does have a tripod mount. This is the mount that all these long lenses have, starting with the 70 to 200. I think that 135 in the past used to have that for some brands, and this one uses a cold shoe. And you can just pop it in and then tighten this thing on, and that's it. You have the lens on, and it won't fall off. It does have a little bit of a lock underneath, so when you're putting it on, it doesn't fall off, and it takes a little bit to turn it off, but it's fine. Also, the lens has 2 ears that you can use to just put a strap if you want to hold it by your strap. If you want to change the lens, if you have another lens that you're using, a longer one or a shorter one, and you want to put this aside and just have it with you, these ears are very helpful. I love that. The only quirk that I have about this is the fact that Sony didn't put an Arca Swiss compatible mount here, so you have to use a plate on top of it, which obviously adds a little bit to the weight. And it's not like you have it already and you just pop it on your tripod. Now, the lens comes with 4 switches on the side that makes it even more professional, if you ask me. We have an AF MF switch, the autofocus and manual focus switch, the full and 10 meters to infinity focus that improves the autofocus quality and the speed of the autofocus. It also comes with the on-off stabilization switch. The lens is stabilized. It has a stabilization motor inside, and this switch performs very well, especially for using on a tripod, and you don't want to have that stabilization fighting with the tripod and give you that jittery look or jelly look. And the last one all the way down, it's the stabilization modes 1, 2, 3. 1 is for a let's say lower stabilization, 2 is for a medium stabilization, 3 is for a higher stabilization. Wow, that was smart. Now, let's say the one you're going to use it if you're shooting kids around the house, or if you're shooting birds that are not in flight, they're just on the branches. And second one is probably for shooting sports that are not that fast. Let's say you're shooting tennis, or you're shooting something that is not extremely fast. And the third one is for birds in flight and soccer and everything that moves fast, and you need a lot of tracking, and you need to pan all the time, cars and so on and so forth. So this is with the outside of the lens, again built out of metal, very solid, very sturdy. The front element, it's kind of big, and it takes a 95mm filter, which is very uncommon. Now the image quality, it's very good. It's comparable to a top end or a top tier lens that you will probably find for, let's say, $6,000 to $12,000, especially from Sony. The lens provides good image quality, great sharpness, fast autofocus, and might be some conditions when it hunts a little bit, depending on the contrast and depending on how you are aiming and towards what you are aiming. Especially for birds in flight, it tends to hunt a little bit if you are not tracking the bird, or if you are using a different autofocus mode, let's say the wide one, or the tracking, or like I said, something that confuses the camera a little bit. And that is very dependable on the camera as well, depending on you're shooting the A7R4 as well as the A7C and the A7 III. I think A7R3, I think they're all pretty well rounded in terms of autofocus, and you won't have any kind of problems with this lens. The colors are Sony colors, and in my opinion, they need a little bit of work still, because they're not the colors that, let's say, Fujifilm or Panasonic or Olympus are providing, those bright, beautiful colors and the vibrance that they have. They're a bit dull towards magenta still a little bit, and I'm gonna show you in a different video my wedding that I just shot last weekend, and you see the difference between these brands, and the colors are totally different. I'm not saying that they're bad, and I'm not saying that they're not fixable, but I would love to see some beautiful JPEGs from the Sony cameras. It will probably happen in the next couple of years, but for now they still need to work at the color science. I love to shoot this lens. I had it with me probably every day when I went out for a walk, or if I went especially to shoot some photos. Next to my house is a great pond, and I have all kinds of birds there. Not exotic birds, not birds of paradise, but cranes and egrets and small birds like swallows and sparrows. And I tried to have this lens help me grab great photos of those birds, though are not amazing birds that you will present in a gallery, but they're definitely great to shoot and follow around. I love nature, and that's what I actually want to do from now on, but that's a different conversation. Nonetheless, I was impressed. $2,000, that's the price for this lens, and you're getting a semi-pro to pro lens. Though there are a few quirks and perks that I want to mention right now at the end of the video, and if you made it right here, maybe you should subscribe to the channel, because you probably enjoy these videos. Also hit that notification bell and give these videos a thumbs up, and the quirks and perks are coming right now. First, let's start with the perks. I love the fact that it's built out of metal and it's dust and moisture resistant. consistent. That's amazing for wildlife photography, for landscape photography, when the conditions are totally different and you are encountering all kinds of mother nature elements that will keep you away if you don't have a lens like this to go out and shoot and enjoy. Also, I like the fact that they put a huge zoom ring right here, and the zoom ring plays very well in hand. It's very smooth and buttery smooth, actually. I also enjoy the fact that they put all the customization switches right here for stabilization, as well as focus and autofocus and all that stuff. And I love how they build the lens to not feel very heavy, though it is a hefty lens. What I hate about it is the fact that, for example, the zoom ring is very big and the manual focus ring is right here. If you're holding the tripod mount on and you're shooting handheld, it's gonna be very tough to manual focus. And I know that the ring is buttery smooth, but it's still very tough, especially at 600mm, to hold the lens up. And just the movement, any movement at 600mm is gonna affect your focus, and it's gonna be tough to do it. Maybe if they would have made the ring a little bit thinner and moved this one a little bit towards the middle of the lens, would have been nice. Besides that, if you're holding the lens like on the tripod mount, it's very hard to just move the ring small indents to be able to pinpoint the focus. Another thing that I hate about it is the fact that they didn't put the Arca Swiss. Like I said, that is a must in 2021, even in 2020, I believe it should have been a must for lenses like this, because most of the people who are using these lenses, they're probably gonna use them on a tripod as well. And what else? What was it? I'm pretty sure it was something else that I didn't like. Oh, exactly. And I hate the fact that this lens is 5.6 to 6.3. Why is that? Well, it's simple. Most of my photos are grainy because I am forced to shoot higher ISO even during the day, especially when you're shooting wildlife and you're going out in the mornings, early in the morning or late in the afternoon, to get those birds that are not flying all over when they're 90 degrees outside, and they're hidden. And it's not how wildlife and landscape photography works. You're not going out midday because everything is dull, and let's say the colors are not the way you want it, Sony. But the lens being not so wide aperture, it forces you to raise the ISO a little bit so you have enough shutter speed to freeze the action. And especially for birds in flight, it's very difficult. And yeah, that is something that I would change. And if this lens was, let's say, $2,500, maybe $3,000, and it was a constant aperture f5 or f5 4.5, I would definitely recommend this lens to anyone and everyone who's starting into wildlife photography, even pro photographers, because it's a great lens, and everything they put inside is good. It's good quality. That is something that I would love to have a little bit more of it, the aperture. Like I said, f5, f4.5 would have been amazing. A constant aperture, probably make it a little bit bigger, but who knows. Guys, this is pretty much it about the 200 to 600 f5.6 6.3 from Sony for E-mount. I hope you guys enjoyed the video again, and I hope you're gonna be here for the next ones, because we're gonna have many on the channel. Also, don't forget about the live stream at 1,000 subscribers, and don't forget to be here and subscribe to the channel, because we're gonna have a giveaway. Also, give these videos a thumbs up, and don't forget to stay focused, my friends. I will definitely see you in a bit.